Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk About Decks. I'm Lizzie Nice. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we're meeting on today and streaming from, the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty has not been ceded, and I want to pay respect to elders past and present and any First Nations person that might be watching this back today. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you to Abbotts Yard for having us, and thanks to Creative Victoria as well and Vinyl Vixens. I'm super excited. Tonight we have DJane and Fazuli from Resonance. They're both really sick DJs. They're going to have a chat to each other, and then they're going to back to back. Nice. So I'll pass it over to them and have a good night. Enjoy.
Hello, and thanks for coming, everyone, and tuning in. I'm Fazuli, and
I'm DJane. Lovely to be here tonight.
and we're both a part of the collective Resonance. So we thought we might do a bit of a spiel about how the collective came about. Massive shout out to Vinyl Vixens, actually, because we're a femme-fronted collective. There's about 8 of us, and we wouldn't have met if it wasn't for Vinyl Vixens and their workshops. So yeah, I think Jano, you've got the story.
Yeah, I mean, we're like a bit of a hodgepodge group of people, and yeah, I definitely don't think we would have all come together in the way that we did without the Vinyl Vixens DJ workshops through Yarra Youth. And yeah, it was just a few sessions to realise that we really were on the same level in terms of what we wanted to see in the local scene and what kind of music we liked. And yeah, before we knew it, I think at one point we had about 12 people on board with Resonance, and then a few kind of dwindled away. But yeah, that's fine. We've got more than enough members. But it's just been it's been an interesting journey. I think when we first started Resonance, we actually went under a different name, Faux Pas, and yeah, there are like various reasons we changed that, but we did run one party under Faux Pas. It was a very rushed, very last minute.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Frankenstein kind of event. I guess like we had just formed and we're really excited to start throwing parties and stuff. Yeah, I know that I was like, oh my God, there's like 12 lady DJs that I can actually like interact with. Let's do this. And then one of the members just got us a gig on a Thursday night upstairs at Gasso. We had like 2 days to prepare. Like some of us got some decorations. We had like a massive like mannequin that came in. And then, yeah, we kind of just put it all together. I think you like did the art in like Word with Word art, which is great. I was like super lo-fi, kind of cool, like into it. And then, we did it and it was a massive hit. And yeah, we're kind of glowing after that. I think we pulled it off. I think we had a good time. But yeah, I think after that kind of got our juices going. We're like, fuck, sorry, can I swear? I swore. But yeah, what other parties can we throw? And then, yeah, COVID kind of happened. And then we're also like, oh, the name might be used in other places. So we went through like a complete rebrand. And then...
another name like for a hot minute. Well, yeah. we changed our name again. And then we just... we felt like the new name we chose was a bit meaningless. And then one of our members, Britt Flura, came up with the name Resonance, which just really resonated with us. But it's been a pretty long road up until not even having thrown our launch party yet. And how long have we been a collective? It's been a while. Yeah. But, you know, the way that I see it is that it's not, you know, this collective, this thing we have going, it's not just about running events and, and it's not just about being really present on social media. It's kind of just about this little community that we've created and the bond that we have with each other. It's just so nice to have a amazing group of allies and friends to connect with over music and our love of the dance music scene. And not that we have much to show for ourselves. I think that there's yeah, I think that we all feel that we've come a long way, despite the fact that we don't have a lot on paper to show for ourselves necessarily. Yeah.
The passion's there. I think, yeah, we've been brewing stuff for about like 2 years now. I think just like over, like just before COVID, and then, yeah, we've just been planning stuff in the works, like hashtag big things coming. We're going to start throwing parties like more often now. I think it was last week with Lady Soul. She was like, you know, just get a bunch of friends together and like ask a venue, you know, can we throw a party, and just do it that way if you're not getting gigs. And that's exactly like what we've been doing. So it's been nice to like see it evolve and then like know what's in the pipeline and like just be real excited for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We will have our launch party coming up at the Avalon soon. I'm not going to confirm any dates. I mean, it's like the same for every collective at the moment. Date changes have just been, you know, throwing us all a bit out of whack. But yeah, I think we have enough momentum behind us that, yeah, well, it should be a fun night. So stay tuned. But yeah, I'd really like to actually hear about, so Faz here, Fazuli, Farida, has been doing all three names. Yeah, she's been doing a course with Mess, and it sounds like it's been really great. Like I've chatted with Faz outside of this, and it sounds like you're really inspired, and it's been a good experience. But how has that kind of gone down for you?
Yeah, I guess over COVID, when, you know, I couldn't really go out and DJ, I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna buy a synth. And had been listening to like a bunch of acid music, so I decided to get the Behringer TD3. And as soon as I got it, I was like, I have no idea how this works. I know how, like, you know, to put in patterns and whatnot, but what do the knobs do? Like, it's like hieroglyphics to me. But I saw that Mess was doing their course. It's like a foundations course for electronic music, and they were doing it online for COVID. And I was like, that's a great way to spend my time. And so they're really trying to support like femmes and non-binary people to get into it. And so I applied and got in, and yeah, it was just really, really nice. It was about 12 weeks and 2 hours a week. Just going from like, what is a wavelength, like what kind of, or what levels of hertz can like someone hear with a human ear, to like building a song, like structuring it and having a really like clear structure, to adding effects and all of that good stuff. And shout out to Janine, our teacher for the course. They were like really, really great. And also Lauren and Boz. And yeah, I think they're doing another course, but in person. So yeah, I would say check it out. If you want to make a song in 12 weeks, I feel like that's just the, I don't know, artist's conundrum. Like, you start a song, you can never finish it. But if you've got a deadline and you have to present it to people, you just like get it out. And then, yeah, they kind of master it at the end, and you'll do a big showcase and give each other feedback. So that was really, really nice. And now I know my way around like the TD3, which is great. And thus started this very dangerous slippery slope of wanting every synth in the world. But, you know, yeah, it's a constant journey. So that was really nice. And yeah, I've also like booked myself a workshop with them just in person to like play around with all the knobs and stuff as well. So really excited for that. But yeah.
I think you might have done something pretty fun for your application for the Mess course. What was that?
Yeah, so I got really bored and wanted to learn Ableton pre-Mess course, and you have to submit a song just to show that you've got like a base knowledge of how like music works, which, you know, anyone can do really. So my friend and I kind of, like, we started this thing. I was living with her, and every time she burped, she'd be like, oh no, I can't believe I burped. And so I would start like applauding her. And so eventually we moved out, and over COVID, we just sent each other like our burps over Messenger. And so I sampled her burp and put it in a song, and I like wrote it in a day. It was like, yeah, a burp banger. who knows if it'll see the light of day? I don't know. Maybe I'll just like slip it into a set one day, just like 4 a.m. kind of vibe. I don't know. But yeah, like bird bangers can get you in. So who knows? Anything's possible. But yeah, enough about me. Let's switch the spotlight onto you. Did you want to tell us about your experience DJing pre-COVID and post-COVID? And you definitely have more experience than I do. So yeah, how you found that that shift?
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I saw like so many memes going around about like, oh, my DJ career was just about to take off before COVID, trust me. So I like, felt a little bit ripped off, as I'm sure a lot of other local DJs did. But it also just like being like, in ISO gave me the chance, or in lockdown gave me the chance to explore music that I definitely wouldn't have gotten into, more down-tempo stuff. And yeah, I think that like coming out of lockdown and out of like, this hectic COVID time has been difficult in a way, because I've had to adjust, what I've been listening to and what I've been vibing to, into a more like party environment, which just felt a bit jarring at first. Like it was hard to, I think dance music is so contextual, and if I can't, envisage myself playing something out when I'm listening to music, it's not going to inspire me that much. So yeah, I think that, it's been a bit of an adjustment, but actually just like going out, going for a really good dance, hitting up Miscellanea has been really fun. And yeah, I think that's really just like reinvigorated me, just like being out, seeing and hearing the music played in the context that it's supposed to be played has like reminded me how much fun DJing is. But yeah, I think the scene is like looking really great at the moment, and I'm just loving like how many like raves and doofs there are popping up. I feel like people are getting a little bit grassroots, because it's so, I feel like, yeah, everyone's just like thirsting for a party, and like the like venues are all backed up, and people are just kind of taking matters into their own hands and running their own little parties. So I feel like, yeah, there's like a big feeling of optimism, and yeah, I mean, I feel like that's speaking on in a general sense. Like maybe, yeah, it's kind of hard. I feel like I'm still don't have enough space from from COVID to like maybe make a comment on like post-COVID things. Yeah, too soon. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like maybe pre-COVID, what kind of like what's been your best experience and your worst experience out? Do you have any comments on that? Let's get juicy.
I mean, yeah, I think like probably a highlight for me has been playing at Sub Club. I've had some like really awesome nights out there, and I mean, in saying that, like a couple of times I've been booked to open, which, is like a kind of regular occurrence, and it's not a diss. It is something that, can be related to the music you play and like, the scheduling. But, I think that opening can be really fun because it gives you a bit of space to be a bit more playful and not just be like a bangers, like peak time DJ. So I do, I like opening, but don't hold me to that. Please book me for peak time also. I think that, I have struggled with some expectations of venues, just like feeling a bit constrained by like genre and energy level, even BPM, revs, I'm looking at you. Like it's just a bit disappointing sometimes when venues don't have trust in their DJs to, deliver based on, them as a DJ and their particular taste. I think there's a bit of room for, just more like daring selections, which is,
Do you want to tell us about the story?
Yeah, I just just like briefly, I was like mid-set and this was at Revs. I got told that I was at about 127 BPM, that it was a bit too fast and to play a bit less breakbeat. So yeah, I think, ultimately play tech house at 120 BPM is what I was being told. So it was like a bit like, why would you book me? Like, that's not what I play. But yeah, I think Revs is like going through a bit of changes, as most venues are. So hey, maybe we'll see more breakbeat at Revs this year.
I feel like breakbeat's the next frontier, right? Once it hits Revs, it's like hit the mainstream. Big things coming. But yeah, I also think that maybe COVID did change like the way that people party and the way that people like sort of ingest music. I think, yeah, for me especially, I started appreciating, like more slower stuff, and like you kind of get sick of hearing like house music when you're at home wishing that you were out playing house music or like, yeah, exactly. And I think that's like, at least for me, given myself space to grow and like sort of explore other genres. But then, you always like fall back to your like tried and trues. But yeah, I guess maybe a good one is like what first got you into DJing and like why are you still doing it?
Yeah, I guess I just found myself all of a sudden surrounded by people, I guess through meeting at parties, through meeting at festivals, who were like very obsessed with dance music. And being the little party animal I was like, well, I think there's something in this. And my housemate at the time, I think I started like mixing just very casually back in like 2016 or so. He bequeathed me his decks, his XDJ R1s, the little controller all-in-one thing when he went traveling, and being in my room with no one else to hear my shoddy mixing was a great way to get into it. But yeah, just playing at house parties to start off with is really good because you know what your friends want to hear. It's a good little confidence builder. Why am I still doing it? I guess, I just like, keep discovering music that really excites me and that I want other people to hear. I guess that's what keeps me inspired. Yeah, I feel like, we can all go through lulls as DJs with feeling inspired or, maybe feeling a bit stuck at times. So, like, how do you manage that? Like, are there times where you feel like you don't want to do it anymore, and how do you kind of get out of that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, back to your, like, Rob sort of lending you decks. I also find that, like, maybe not so much now because there's so many opportunities, but, like, equipment's expensive. And I feel like just from that alone, you, like, cut out, like, if you're not making that much money and you want to DJ, it's just so hard to get out there and, like, find the right equipment to, like, start practicing. And I find that, like, yeah, you could DJ on iPads if you wanted to, but there's such like an equipment kind of steez that exists where it's like, I don't know, I know for a while it's like, oh, you don't do vinyl, okay, like, but yeah, exactly. But I think it's really like, I really like the lo-fi approach, and I think that's also why like I love what Resonance is doing, because we'll be like, come over and let's like have a big mix and do that kind of thing.
And yeah, I just wanted to say like also what Yarra Youth are doing. Like I think equipment is a big barrier for some DJs, and just to have access to equipment is it's all you need to get started, and you can play gigs without having your own decks at home. I know a couple of DJs who do that. So it is an accessibility thing for sure. And I think that I was, privileged enough to live with someone who had equipment and to be friends with people whose gear they could use before I got serious enough to want to buy my own. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like Shout out to a virtual DJ, everyone's first decks. But yeah, actually it's funny because Rob taught me how to DJ first as well, because he was like the only person I knew that owned decks. And then I like saved up to get my first controller. It was like $400. And when I bought it, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I like bought these like op shop stereo speakers for like $20, and I set it all off in like the corner of my room. I was like, okay, like we can actually start practicing now. But that like journey alone was just so like arduous and long. So it was really nice, like, yeah, to do that. But yeah, now look at us. Look at us go. And I guess, yeah, you got anything to say?
I was just going to say, that's a nice hoodie you've got there.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
What's that? What does that say?
Yeah, it's actually repping this collective called Resonance. Yeah, we printed these exclusively. There's only one in the world that exists right now, but who knows, maybe in the future there'll be more. So if anyone's frothing a Resonance jumper, watch this space. Plug, plug, plug. But yeah, it was lovely to chat. As always. Do you have any final words? I don't know if I have any final words.
No pearls of wisdom for me, but yeah, thanks for the chat. It was really lovely, and yeah, thanks Creative Vic, and thank you Vinyl Vixens and everyone who's made this possible tonight. Yeah, it's really a privilege to have this platform, so thank you.
Such an
Yeah, let's play the tag.
Oh, really?